Public Safety Committee for Brooklyn Community Board 9. My name is Fred Baptiste. I serve as the chair of the committee. At this time, I would ask if the members of the committee can introduce themselves.
Zlati Munchkin, community member.
Eve Cohen, community member.
Shania Hartley, community member.
Joanna Carr, resident member.
Okay. And with that, we have a quorum. So we are going to go through the agenda. All right, so we're going to waive the reading of the rules of order for today. Ultimately, we just say that we just want to make sure that we are, as a committee and as a board, committed to respect the exchange of ideas, even in disagreement. We want to make sure that all viewpoints are heard and understand that everybody, this is a safe place, so that way they can say what they need to say and give their issues and hopefully contribute to the dialogue to make the neighborhood better. Okay, so we are going to go to item 4, the approval of the minutes for the February meeting. Have all the members got a copy of the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we just ask that?
It's not here, yeah.
You probably can.
Save it for the next time.
Unless the applicant comes running in now.
That's fine. Well, give them just enough time to.
Thanks, you good.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm gonna work on for Lent, my facial, my expression.
All right, now, so the minutes, the members have the minutes before. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes?
No, I looked through them, it
Okay.
aligns with what we had spoken of and what was introduced.
Okay, any corrections to the minutes? All right, is there any objection to adopting the minutes by common consent?
One thing that I don't see mentioned, oh, nope, sorry, I see the wireframe, okay.
Okay,
Where
all right, so,
Here we go, where we discussed in regards to creating a wireframe.
yeah, but didn't we, what didn't the minutes speak about that we asked doing business as the C list, that he should add the soundproofing and then send it back to us? That's not in the minutes yet.
Resubmit an application to reflect revised hours and noise mitigation plan as stipulated.
Oh, okay.
And we did follow up with an email and we voted.
Right.
okay. All right,
Okay, fine. Yeah, no, common consent is fine for me.
okay, all right, so the minutes are adopted as written. Thank you very much for that. Okay, speeding right along. So there is no FDNY update, but I do want to thank the fire department for coming last month. I did want to share that, I think it's important that we especially we're aware of fire safety and, and especially because I think we just had a fire on Eastern Parkway.
Terrible
Just
fire.
Terrible fire.
I think it would be great when they come next time, I'll make some questions in regards to, we're seeing the issues with the batteries, but we're also, I think that we need to be mindful, especially with homeowners, about hoarding and blocking of spaces and things like that, so I'll kind of.
Smoke alarms.
Yes, exactly, right.
Right.
So I'll do like a ChatGPT and align a few questions that I think would be good pointers to then pass on, because we're also hearing about that and blocking of fire escapes and not having
Right.
good grouting out.
Bars on windows that have no keys to open up, which is
Agreed.
what happened with this fire in East Parkway. They had no way of getting out.
And that's important. So what we'll do is we can reach out to FDNY as well to see if they can give us resources, and we can figure out the best way to get it. I like when we, it's good when we put them out on the e-blast, but there's a lot on the e-blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perhaps it's something good where we can set up something separate where it's like, listen, there's a communication from the public safety, committee about fire safety, about things about watching the candles, especially around holidays and everything.
Yeah, when we have these fairs and things like that, we should be finding out if we can give out free, people don't want to go out and buy carbon dioxide or one of those fire, smoke alarms. Maybe they can get it free, you know what I mean, just to put up, we're saving lives.
And Crystal Hudson's turkey giveaway that I volunteered for, they not only did the turkey giveaway, but they also had an entire room of additional resources. Children's books, water, but I didn't get to really look because
Oh, wow, nice.
they had me outside playing bouncer.
Okay. I see that.
But so FDNY was there giving out batteries as well as smoke alarms.
Yeah.
Right. I know typically we will get a lot of communications. I think October is Fire Prevention Month or Fire Safety Month. I know a lot of the time, usually around that time, they will do giveaways, like they will help you schedule to get free carbon monoxide detectors, and they will arrange for the installing of them as well.
Oh, wow.
So I know around October, so we'll definitely make sure we keep an eye out for
Yeah.
that, but I'll see if there's anything off-season that we
Yeah.
can also do.
Yeah, smoke alarms and really,
We're coming into barbecue season, so also be aware when we use public spaces, like parks, throwing out coals.
right,
Right, in particular because we had we had the dry season, so we had the wildfires in the park, so absolutely, those are things that we'll make sure we ask them. And perhaps maybe there's a seasonal calendar we can ask to develop with them, where it's like, listen, there's a topic of the month, especially whatever is most important during that time. I know space heaters are always important to talk about, especially for that December to about March timeframe. Fire safety, the carbon monoxide
the
detectors.
space heater was what started the fire, was that what started the fire?
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
And especially if you use an older one, because the new ones, as soon as they tip over, they shut off.
And that was part of what the representative said. I mean, yeah, the space heaters are a very big concern. We can't, she even said to the point where we can't necessarily trust that. It's like, oh, well, you gotta keep your eyes on them. You gotta make sure you don't have children walking near them or pets that knock them over. She was saying, especially, watching the older models, especially with the toaster grill things and everything like that, the wires.
yeah, those things.
Those are
Putting it
problematic.
directly into the outlet, which creates more issue than putting it into a power strip.
Right,
Right. Actually, and that might be something to look into, because I've heard that they want you to plug them into the walls because the power. There was
that's
something
what
about
she
the
was
power
saying.
strips, yeah.
They say the power strips are not good, it's better to put it directly
Into the wall, yes. I'm sorry, Miss.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's what she was saying.
No, absolutely. Because sometimes even the wires will just heat up and
Yeah.
just
Right.
cause problems.
Yeah,
And also, like, I went into the office one day this year, and they did a fire drill, and maybe one of the call outs could be, have you run a fire drill in your home, right? Do you know what to do in the time of emergency? Panic makes a lot of people delirious,
right.
except for me.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's true, they have, a lot of families have like a meeting, they're like, okay, where's our exit? Where do we go? Where do we this?
if you're on the
That's-
bottom floor, how are you going,
Right.
your route of escape is different from
Right,
higher floors.
When I was younger in school, they would, at school, they would make us go home and do it with our family. So it's coming from like the kids.
Yeah.
That was also a good idea.
Oh.
yeah, that's nice.
I ran one at my mom's house. I also told her to start getting rid of stuff.
Just blocks your exit.
Yeah,
Was that recently or as a kid?
No, try like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
No.
no, cause she was saying the kids go home
Yeah,
school and
yeah,
you
yeah.
went to that, so
No,
she
no, no.
wasn't
Okay, as a
sure.
kid, you told your mom that we're gonna get rid of some
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
No, I mean, I've been the same consistent person since a child, but no, that is something you say now, especially as people get older.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and especially when you keep the stuff in the house, if you keeping the extra memorabilia, the clutter, or whatever else, it does become a hazard, especially in an emergency. It can
And
block.
clutter takes up fire,
Yeah, it's fuel.
right? Newspapers, clothing, all of those things are fuel.
Absolutely.
They're saying now also that part of the wildfires in California, the reason why it was so quick in some of these houses is due to the materials used in some of the houses, like the sheetrock and, or even like older homes also, right? Those wooden frames.
Wooden beams, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard. Actually, well. Just to really quickly now, I heard that there's a plant that they have out there.
Oh, that just, it's like Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, it's great, but when it dries out,
when
it
it
is.
dries out, and when just when the wind, one spark, and then
Yeah.
it's just like, it looks like fireworks,
Yeah.
but it's not, and then it trickles into the other trees and creates what we saw.
No, absolutely. No, this is all fantastic. So we'll definitely reach out and we'll ask if anyone to have these. And we'll see if we can compile them. We'll see what's the best way to kind of get them out of, or you do things, drip at a time, or thematically, or how you want to do that. But I thought it was a great meeting for that. NYPD, they're not here for the report today, although I've been hearing on the news, they've been touting that there are supposed to be significant lows that they've seen in crime over the last 30 years and some other safety things. So we'll try and see if we can get a report on that, but specifically, I wanna make sure we get, what do the numbers look like in the district as well. So I'll talk to Dante and we'll see about with our community affairs rep. At the very least, we should be able to get that paper report on a monthly basis, and we'll try and make sure that's included as part of the packet. So even if there's not a rep here, we should be able to at least look at that and see what's going on.
And also if they can provide us with some tips, I feel like they come here and they're like, yeah, stay home. You know, and I've attended like Quadrant D, which is a separate one, and they give you a little bit more specifics, like they tell you, if you can, check to have your package sent to a safe space like a UPS or
Right.
something, see that, call your retailer and see if it could be done. Put the apps on your phone to track your package. So like he provided people with some pretty good tips. He also provided some ID theft tips, telling people to stop having paper statements sent to your home. If you're someone who has assistants in your home, aides or something, especially for our elderly that become, there's, victims of, have paperwork placed in a safe. It's very often, and it could be any big, please don't have bank statements out. And so he provided some pretty good tips for shredding. Every year Crystal Hudson does a shredding event.
Mhm.
It should be coming up soon. Shred the paper, because,
What's a shredding event?
they do it,
You just bring bags of stuff and some people shred it for you?
Yeah,
they have a huge truck, and you like
It's not a bad
you
idea.
bump into
Instead
so
of
many
doing it
people, and
yourself.
they're like, ooh, they have lots of paper in their house, because they're just so judgmental. But yeah, it's a shredding event. They did it November of this year, and they do it in April as well, and they give out a plant.
Well, the other
I
part
wonder
too.
if it's a Passover time, maybe that's why I miss it every time.
No, it was in November. It's
No,
on the
it's
Sabbath.
April.
It is on the
Ah.
Sabbath.
Okay, but we can find out, or we can
You
find out what it takes to
Jump
organize
it off before, and they'll just,
I don't know
on
if we
Friday,
can.
and they'll do it on Saturday.
I don't know.
Well, it's at the St. George Church on St. Mark's in Brooklyn, so it's a possibility.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, listen, that's a question we can ask, and then we can see, definitely we can see if we can make accommodations for.
Right,
For
yeah,
observances as well.
that would be a good idea to make accommodations for all types of people to be able to come down. Saturday kind of limits also 7 days.
I'm surprised you don't have a home shredder, really.
I do, but.
I have one too.
Of course I do, but
Yeah, I have one
it's
too.
slowly,
Yeah.
yes, man, you kidding me, I wanna.
And you turn around one
That's all.
day and then it becomes this much paper. Sometimes that ends up happening, right? Where you go somewhere and you
And
end
then
up
a
getting.
staple gets stuck.
Yep, exactly. And the truck is huge,
Yeah.
and you just put it into this big vat, and then the truck flips it over and the truck shreds it. Because it's one of the larger security companies that, finance companies use. I know one of the
That's
Bank of
very good.
America that they use, yeah. So when it comes up, I'll remind you, because when Andre comes, he always announces that, so it should be for April or May.
Okay,
And we can find out, I mean.
And it comes up also in the email.
yeah, but we should still find out if people could drop off before,
Mhm.
I don't know if they wanna drop off their papers. I
How
don't know
many
if I wanna
people are
drop off my stuff.
How many people?
Statements.
3, 10? It's not like you're gonna have 150 people coming and dropping off on Friday.
Yeah, but there's personal stuff in there, you're dropping it off, putting it straight into the truck, no one's seeing it. You want your bank statements to be hanging out?
Whatever.
But we can find out, we can ask, we can see what we can work out.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so thank you very much for that, and so I'm gonna make sure these included in minutes, and we'll do some outreach as well, so to see what we can. I'm curious to see how much that even costs to do that too.
It's a grip, because many years ago, I wanted to do it, and I was trying to do it on a smaller scale. And we're talking 2009 to 2010, long ago, and far away. And it was 1,200 then, but I was one person inquiring.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, so for 1,200 for a district is not a bad.
Correct,
Not
exactly,
bad at
that's a
all.
difference.
For a district,
Right,
that's
right,
not
right,
bad,
right,
so.
right, yeah, and then also, sometimes them doing it for a district is a write-off. So, they could do it on a different level.
Right.
So, yeah, ask Andre, Crystal's right-hand person, who do they use? I can't remember right now, we have to call my mother, because she knows, because it's one that the banks
If,
use.
if they're writing on a
Yeah.
citywide contract, there's maybe one of like ProShred or GRM. I don't.
You're right, it may be one of those.
One of those.
Right, yeah. And they can do it here, like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
We can always just figure out the date, what time
Mhm.
makes sense and everything like that.
Right,
To your
that
point,
would-
maybe, you know,
yeah,
if it's during the day or we just
I
figure
think
out the
that's
hours.
really good, I think we should definitely usher that in as a,
I like that.
as a spring cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Spring cleaning.
And if anyone additional on the board contested or wants an itemized thing, I will, you know, my general board voice is different.
Wait,
Yes, ma'am.
And diplomacy goes out the window.
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
practicing your face?
Oh, but I don't have to practice my voice. I'm working on nonverbal communication, not verbal.
Okay, all right, so that completes items 5 and 6. All right, we are going to table item 7 as there is no one here this
No
month.
representative
Right.
today?
There's no representative today. We'll table it, we'll see what happens, just because of the inclement weather, so we'll just.
It's exactly the same neighborhood as the guy from last week.
Well,
Franklin
but that's,
Avenue.
he's just doing a, like,
A
wine beer
regular-
and cider.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems like he already owns another pizza shop in Fort Greene. And so this one, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll have all the information, I mean, so we have all that information, so. Okay, so we'll table that. All right, so, well, before we go, so are there, I will entertain, is there any announcements, well, let me say this. The one announcement I wanted to say is that, so I know we had started the conversation about SLA criteria, so for the, and you know, just for information. The information about state liquor authority. So one of the functions of the Public Safety Committee is we review those and we make recommendations that go to the full board, that go to the state liquor authority on anybody who wants to have a liquor license for a restaurant or an establishment in the district. So one of the things we're working on this project is that we're trying to develop a set of comprehensive criteria that we're judging it by. And just having standards. So in other words, you know, so is there a particular time that we're comfortable with allowing people to serve? What kind of notification process we want to have? Do we want to have certifications on, are they in full compliance? There's a 200-foot rule. Are you near a school or a place of worship? Are you in a cluster or it's just 15 bars in a row? You know, those things. So we want those certifications that we have there. And then a couple noise mitigation. So in terms of if you're a business coming into the district, we want you to be good neighbors, especially because a lot of these end up being in storefronts that have tenants on top. So are you being a good neighbor? What's your noise mitigation plan? What are the standards that we have set, we want to set as a community? So that's a conversation we've been having. It's not on this month. We actually expect to bring it back up next month. So plug if we come back next month.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. But otherwise, we're gonna keep trying to get resources as well and information and training. But we will have that conversation. We'll be back on for next month. Okay. Were there any questions or issues or anything that we
What
wanted to?
happened with the cannabis situation? Like I said, we're getting, we don't have any more applications for cannabis licenses.
They froze that. I saw that in the paper the other day. It said that they froze them. The governor froze all of them or something.
Something to that effect. There was a big backlog. There
Right.
were tons of applications they never got.
Right,
The other piece was they were having so many issues with the illegal places that I think they might have been working to close that up, kind of get a handle on that as well. And listen, there was a lot of pushback and criticism even on the program to begin with. A lot of people said it came out, it's not being executed right. A lot of people said
The proliferation, the strategic
proliferation,
components,
exactly.
where they were taking place at,
Right.
as well as the crime component that had been tied to it.
So a lot of people said, yeah, this came out very quickly and they weren't very happy about the
Yeah.
rollout, how it came out.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm okay with the pause on that.
yeah, me too, because they were very unclear of what our requirements and what we needed to check and not check and how much they were taking notice of what we said and all this kind of stuff was very not clear.
Well, but I just want to say as a plug in a nod to this committee, one of the things I think we were good, that was a plus from last year was, remember, we did develop the criteria and we did the checklist for that.
Right,
So that's good. And actually, I want to use some of that checklist as part of the wireframe too when we go forward. So that way, the processes are close because we're talking about controlled substances by different laws, but
Right.
controlled substances, we want to make sure that they're consistent. So we're asking the same questions and we have all that information up front. So we'll know who you are, what your history is, and everything else we need to know about you, so that way the board can make an informed decision. Informed, reasonable decision on any application that comes before us.
Right.
All right, so yeah, so my apologies, it's not on this month, it will be on for next month, and we'll have a conversation with that. Okay, any other questions, issues, anything we wanna add to the agenda for next month? Okay, hearing none, we have completed our agenda. I wanna thank everyone for coming out on a rainy Wednesday night, thank you very much. So there is no action item that's going to the board for this month. We will now stand adjourned. The time is now,
7:50.
7:54.